And we're
Boom!
live, Brad. No
Boom!
intro.
Right into it. No introduction.
Indiana Hoosiers Live 80 presented by FanDuel. Brad, we're going no introduction because we have a new thumbnail and I haven't had time to replace the new thumbnail or put the new thumbnail in the intro video. And so in the meantime, we're just getting right to talking, right to moving and grooving with the people, Brad. And you brought something to my attention that I just wanted to volley to you right off the bat. And that was something you were looking at on FanDuel.
Yeah, I mean, I'm rising my desk right now. We're getting off to a hot start. I should have been more locked in. But watch me palm a basketball. There we go. All right, no, it's moving. All right, well, enough of that. Anyways, Hoosiers Live presented by FanDuel. I mean, with all this hype, I think we're going to go national a little bit. I think the biggest storyline in college football right now is what's going on. And this is unbiased. You see me in my Laker jersey. This has nothing to do with this. Unbiased, the hottest thing going on, and what the hell's going on in Utah moment is what the hell's going on in Westwood right now, because they have a ton of momentum. They had one of the better transfer classes coming in. They have the number 5 recruiting class currently at the moment as we sit here, May 5th. Happy Cinco de Mayo, 2026. UCLA. Something's going on in Westwood where they got momentum on the recruiting trail, bringing in first-year head coach, roster overhaul, very similar in numbers to the likes of a Cignetti roster rebuild. Oklahoma State's doing the same thing. Mind you, those are 2 schools that are bringing in college football playoff head coaches, which, you don't see too often these days, where a coach that coached in the CFP is now at a new school. It's only happened.
It happened 3 times in this cycle.
Lane, yeah, it did, but it doesn't happen too often.
4 times.
All right, before that, how long did it?
Summerall.
2 of those were Summerall never went to the CFP.
Did you not coach Tulane?
They didn't go to the CFP. Oh yeah, they did, huh? Yeah. No, you're right. That's on me. That's bad. But before that, I guess since the 12 team, it's going to start becoming a thing. Anyways, I guess that didn't really work out for Florida, but a school to keep an eye on, Oklahoma State and UCLA, with all the momentum coming around. The biggest difference, I would say, is that UCLA, bigger sell than Indiana. So they're able to bring in a lot of Power 4 guys right off the bat. Now, are these guys super productive? Not necessarily. Very similar, very dissimilar to Cignetti in that way. However, tons of talent, and it's there. And a lot of people feel like the supporting cast is there. FanDuel odds of the day. Nico Iamaleava, with all the hype going around UCLA, people think, I've seen a lot of takes of them being college football playoff dark horses. If that's the case, you have to look at Nico plus 8,000 on FanDuel to win the Heisman. You just have to. You have to. If they're sniffing 10 wins, there's a chance he's in New York.
Brad's been reading LA media. Can you tell? Do you remember what Fernando was last year around this time?
No, I don't. What was he? Probably
plus 6,000.
Yeah, not as high. But Nico, 5-star, with a supporting cast, if the team's success happens, it's a narrative award, super rebuild. He's there. I think that's just something to look at, right? This is actually an unbiased take. I actually don't really buy into all this UCLA hype that's coming around. I think it's really hard to win right away in any school in your first year, which is what made Cignetti going to the playoff first year so impressive, and what got us very bought in right away. Because remember, we were expecting with an easier schedule, right? We were expecting we'll go 8. Maybe if we get crazy, we go 9. 9 wins. If we get crazy here, right?
And we were talking about no self-imposed limitations to a Kurt Cignetti football team.
Exactly. And you were saying that the whole time, but I was trying to keep it real. And I was wrong, and he keeps disproving, and we learn as masters of the eye test. I believe our audience is of the same mind, right? You learn and you evolve and you change your takes, and you're not stubborn in your old ways, right? That's part of being the master of the eye test, right? But yeah, you got to look into that hype. If you're going to buy into UCLA stock, you got to buy into Nico Iamaleava Heisman stock if you're going to do that. Now, I'm not bought in on it at all. I think this team can go I think likely for them 6-7 wins for the boys, for the fellas out west. I do think a turnaround is pretty imminent just based on the hype that's been going around. It's something to keep an eye on. Like, what is going on in Westwood? You know, the Windhorst meme. What is going on in Utah? What the hell is going on?
Well, he was able to recruit guys to go to Holy Cross, and we were having the same conversation before we hopped on. He was able to go behind Signetti and keep JMU at the level that JMU's been at. So that it's not nothing that this guy's had success at multiple places, that at least at one place people aren't expecting success, and then at another place where people definitely have a level of expectation. But I also think it's a good segue to the main topic of this show, which is Indiana's recruiting, that we're going to get to in a little bit because we got a little bit of smoke to get to. But if you look at how headliney and in a good way UCLA's early or late April to into early May momentum has been, and you juxtapose that with where people want, I guess, Indiana to be, I think it is interesting to open the show this way and close the show the way we're gonna close the show. But we do have some smoke to get to, Brad. So you got anything else for your UCLA?
No, that's all. I'm just kind of happy we're not playing them this year. I'd much rather take USC going to that, just because like you kind of know what you're getting with a Lincoln Riley team. First year chest.
What do you mean? The window literally the window's open. What are you talking about?
Good counterpoint, actually. That's a great counterpoint. Their window opened.
All right.
Only took 5 years.
Spring ball is officially over, so yeah, it's recruiting season. We'll get into it, but we have some smoke to get to. We're going to start with Jamison Purcell, who's been invited to this summer's Elite 11 finals, according to Rivals. That's going to be, funny enough, out in LA. What a transition by us. Shout out to Jamison Purcell. He was somebody, obviously, this staff was super high on, recruited through 2 different quarterback coaches, committed early, committed before the quarterback in the class of 2026. He was, I believe, what was it, last summer? Since Jamison Purcell has been committed to the Hoosiers. So this is we saw this one coming, obviously, because when this staff identifies talent, but we'll get into the class a little bit later. But what did you think, Brad, initially when you saw the Elite 11 finals invite?
Super excited. This is actually with all the hoopla and with recruiting rankings and all the politics that goes into it, the Elite 11 has always been tried and true in terms of actually bringing in, eye test wise, the top performers from the semifinals of Elite 11 and bringing in what they believe are the top finalists. And they're not going to bring in every 4-star. They do. Usually the 5 stars make it because, there's a reason why they're 5 stars at the time, right? But they always bring in a good chunk of 3 stars and the little sleepers. And Jamison Purcell is going to be one of them. That should just get you really excited as a Hoosier fan that he's even able to make it to the show, right? Is he going to finish in the top 11? We'll see. Super excited for his opportunity. I think, if he's able to break in there, like that's going to get him a 4-star grade automatically. It's usually how it works. It's a fantastic opportunity, a great event. Probably one of the more prestigious quarterback awards that you can get in high school is becoming an Elite 11 finalist. So good for him. That's just another little what do you call it? Award, a little resume booster for the class coming in, is that we got an Elite 11 finalist quarterback coming in, regardless of where he finishes. Super excited for him. Should be a great, opportunity for him to showcase what he's got.
From the quarterback of the future to the quarterback of the past, Brad, Fernando Mendoza, Omar Cooper Jr. were the first quarterback wide receiver teammates selected in the first round since 2023, where there were quite a few of them, but that was from the NFL account. So it is cool to see the NFL account tweeting about Indiana Hoosiers. We got the drop of episode 3 of The Standard, which was all about the draft process. And shout out to Daryl. She loves my kicks on Twitter, all his socials like that. He's the director of creative video. Those guys over there are amazing. That was one of the things that Sig really put an emphasis on when he came in, was the media took a step up, as well as the rest of the things around the football program. And the content that they've been putting out has been nothing short of ridiculous. So yeah, that thing just dropped. But yeah, Mendoza Cooper, first QB wide receiver teammates selected in the first round since 2023, Brad.
I mean, you win a championship, usually those things happen, right? Ohio State didn't get it done. Because they didn't get a quarterback drafted in the first round. I was actually a big Will Howard guy. I was pretty hype on him. I think he's going to win that QB comp in Pittsburgh that we're all – I think it's the quarterback comp of the ages, by the way. Howard. It's going to feed families. Anyway, like, my goodness.
It was feeding families on Saturdays, and now it's going to feed families.
Get your popcorn ready. Oh my God. Aller versus Will Howard. I like Howard there though. Yeah, no, it's usually something that comes from a lot of winning. And, at the end of the day, like, you can have all this culture, but you got to have the quarterback and the receivers to get it done, right? Like, that's what separated LSU back in their run. Alabama always had a plethora of talent at those positions. Georgia with Stetson Bennett, who's still doing it in the league, right? And they've had a ton of receivers go through there, whether it be a Ladd McConkey or a Brock Bowers, like on those runs. It's a very consistent trend with winning teams. So if you make this college football playoff, there's a good chance you can have one of those combos get drafted. And usually if you win the crown jewel, you got it, right? You got it like that. Like, Beck had, Miami had Beck and Tony, right? Like, those are two NFL guys. Oregon, Dante Moore, who's going to get drafted eventually. And then, that he had Evan Stewart and Corey Moore that are going to be likely NFL picks as well. And they're all
Sadiq
back.
was an NFL guy, and
Sadiq,
Corey Moore is going to be an
NFL
NFL
guy. Like, it is a trend. You can just go down
Benson's
the list,
an
right?
NFL guy.
Yeah, shit correlates sometimes, right? It's what the eye test. You gotta look for the correlations.
My theory I've been putting to the test, Brad, is that the best indicator of who's going to be the best football player is were you already good at football? And
yes, because you can still always get better at football.
It kind of got me in trouble with the 49ers. I feel like I was getting attacked by the 49ers fans this week for going to bat for Omar Cooper Jr., but there was a quote by an old GM that was like, Stribling, the guy they ended up taking, could be a better outside receiver than Cooper because he runs really fast. And I was just like, I can't even believe that was a real quote. But yeah, it's you got to be careful what you say out there, Brad, because
it's funny that you say that because I was actually a big Stribling guy when I watched him. I saw him run all the way past the Georgia defense. I'm like, that guy, like, just randomly at a bar on a Saturday, like, I just saw him run past the entire Georgia defense in like that big shootout game. It was really fun to watch. And I was like, that guy's an NFL guy. I don't know what round he's going, but that's an NFL guy I've ever seen. He was running past, gaining green across the Georgia Bulldogs. Like, yeah, you got it. You got it like that. So, I mean, they can both be really good. Everything's so situational. I always hate that who's better, who's not, like, conversations. Like, it's so marginal.
Why'd you even have to bring our guy into it? That's kind of where I'm at. But
yeah, exactly. Like, why not throw like Kai Lemon, in there? Like, why do they have to shoot our guy? How? Leave our guy out of it.
Did you see the Josh Pate video that upset some people this past week, Brad?
Oh, because he gave a reality check to everyone about how good Indiana is going to be, which is something that we've been kind of saying for a long time. Like, it should be scary for you that the process is going to stay there. The coaching staff is going to stay there. The only thing that's going to change is the quality of talent that comes in from a younger age. And they're going to have more time to mold really good clay up into some really good NFL talent in the future. And that should scare the shit out of everyone. That was like Spark Notes, what he was saying. Like,
100%. It is scaring the shit out of people, Brad, because Matt Patricia went on Good Morning Football and was basically like, yeah, it was terrifying competing against that guy because he said Caden Curry hit him as hard as he's ever seen anybody get hit, which I'm sure was an exaggeration. And they were like, oh my God, there he thought what, funny enough, our friends over at Kirkwood and Dunn thought, who dropped our villains draft, which I don't even want to talk about, but where Tim was like, saw Fernando Mendoza go down, and now all of a sudden it's like our season's over. It's like Matt Patricia, the defensive coordinator for Ohio State, is thinking the same thing, and out jogs back Fernando Mendoza. He's like, oh shit, like we have to deal with this guy. Like that is how the league should view Fernando Mendoza. I thought those comments were really interesting.
We've been trying to tell you, it's got a lot of check boxes checked. Almost all the check boxes are checked when it comes to Fernando. Like, there's not a single check box left unchecked when it comes to Fernando Mendoza. 6'5", check. 230 at 6'5", check. Not underweight. Killer arm, rocket arm, bang, check. Accurate arm, check. Mobility, dangerous enough, check. He's not Matt Ryan.
No, he's maneuverable enough to get out of there.
He's got wheels. He can scoot a little bit. He's not fast. He's not Lamar, He's not Cam. He can scoot. He got wheels for sure.
Did you see his comments on ESPN this week?
Mental, check. Leadership, check. Toughness, check. Like it's all the check boxes. He's got it. And people were trying to be like, "What do you go number one in a different class?" Like, I mean, fuck, you'd be up for debate in every single draft since 1995. Like every single draft of all time, Mendoza would be in the conversation for number one overall. Every single one. Every single one. Checks all the boxes. Like, yeah, there's other guys that checked all the boxes in the past. Even like Caleb Williams didn't check all the boxes. He's a little short. Like, he checks every single box for what you're looking for in a franchise quarterback.
Did you see his
played high level ball? Like Josh Allen was missing that. Like Josh Allen played at Wyoming. Like, is he going to translate to the NFL? Like, he was missing that checkbox. Like Fernando played on the grandest stage and won it all, went 16-0. Like winner, check. Like high level football, check. Like played a lot of football.
And psychopath. Like you talk about leader, but you want to get into it a little bit. Like he went into it a little in depth on ESPN where he was like, I had to be a little bit of an a-hole at the end. And like demand guys were doing their 1 of 11. And there was, for a good reason, a protected image of what Fernando Mendoza truly, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, but there was like definitely like here's Fernando Mendoza. Like we didn't get enough of how fierce of a competitor he was, but that dude is as fierce as it gets. And like the dudes who play with him see, and that's why they love him so much. So it's like, yeah, it's he's the entire package to your point, Brad. He is. Yeah,
you don't see it a whole lot because they were up by 40 most of the season. So he was usually happy and jolly because they were doing their thing. And I'm sure he grilled some guys toward the end there. And you know, he's a dog and has the tools and the makeup to be he's very good clay. He's high quality clay. Because that's the new term I just came up with on this show live. Like he's really good clay to play with.
100%. I think that's a great way to describe
it up, Raiders. Let's not fuck it up. Like I said, teams fail players more than players fail teams. Tale as old as time, and most prevalent at the quarterback position.
Well, he was molded by Kurt Signetti, Brad, who was turning down engagement after engagement, endorsement after endorsement, left and right. The only thing he did pick up is he's going to drive the pace car for the Indy car. The Indy 500 is going to be May 24th, and so that's literally the only other extracurricular event this man has picked up, driving the pace car, obviously, so you know how big of a deal that's going to be. But yeah, he's as locked in as it comes. So, and that's who was molding Fernando Mendoza at this level, and you like to think that he's off to good hands with Tom Brady and Spytek and Kubiak and those guys.
It's not even Mendoza related, but like when you talk about Signetti, like quarterback resume, Phillip Rivers found Russell Wilson, found this really wanted this like 5'11" baseball player, like or like what?
I think it's a great comp for Hoover, in my opinion.
Yeah. He's not as mobile as Russ, but yeah, it means he's not height.
That's what a height is.
He doesn't care about that. He had a lot of small quarterbacks in JMU and I'm sure at IUP. I'm sure he didn't have too many 6'5" gunslingers at IUP.
You don't remember the quarterback factory at IUP?
No, man. But and then Curtis Rourke and now Mendoza all in the league. Like that's 4 really good kind of resume builders on quarterbacks. And the fact that he has that resume and still goes and they just go all out blitz on Purcell, I think says a lot.
He got DiNucci drafted.
Yeah. DiNucci. Oh my God, I forget DiNucci.
How can you forget DiNucci?
The big Nooch man. The Noochmeister. Oh my goodness. How could I forget that? That's bad on me. That's hand up. Hand
up, indeed. We got more NFL Hoosiers, Brad. Khalil Benson, Johnny Brady officially earned contracts after minicamp invites. And so, obviously, the minicamp invite isn't a contract. When you can earn the contract, that's when you get the contract. Shout out to those guys.
That's huge. I mean, it gets us up to 21 Signetti guys with active contracts currently. I believe Wedig, or maybe not Wedig, but Carpenter and Wedig. I think Wedig did get a contract. They didn't make the teams, obviously, but right now 21 active contracts, so 21 plus NFL contracts given out in Signetti's 2 years here. I think that's astronomical if you want to compare the past of Indiana. I think I was looking this up. 10 draft picks in Kurt Cignetti's first 2 years, which seems small considering the amount of success they had. Go back the past 10 years before that for Indiana, 10 total draft picks.
8 of them were this year, and it was you could argue that there were guys that deserved and earned the draft status that they had that didn't get it. So,
yeah. David Michael, if Hoover is somewhere between Rourke and Mendoza, we're good, bro. If he's like slightly worse than Rourke, we're just fine. Like we are big chilling. If he's just get to the Rourke level, really, like Rourke with a torn ACL, mind you. If he's at Rourke level, like this team's gonna be scary.
I think the interception things, in my opinion, is a little bit overblown with Hoover, and I know that determines or projects an inclination of putting the ball in harm's way. But like we watched this Indiana offense operate for 2 years. Like it is, here are the answers presented to you, pick one. And if he's not picking the right answer, he won't be picking the answers. And I'm pretty confident he's smart enough after playing all this football to pick the right answers.
Loves.
Hold your thoughts on this because we'll get into it in a second. But I'm gonna hold my tongue on that because we're gonna get into it. Drew Evans was named Scholar Athlete of the Month for May. I have no idea how that works because we just got into May, but
I'm really glad Drew Evans did well on his math test. I'm really excited.
No, this is a good thing, Brad, because we're projecting him to be the starting center of this football team, and I think that is a good thing.
Either him or Lynch. Like I'm cool with either one, but
yeah, I'm cool with both.
Yeah. It's no, I'm really glad he did well on his math test. I am. I think it's good. O linemen are smart guys. D linemen, I want dumb as bricks. Like, go get the quarterback. Like, don't think. Just go get the quarterback. Like,
think and get the quarterback.
No.
In the Brian Haynes defense,
You are 6'5", 260 pounds. You run a 4.4. Go get the quarterback. Don't overthink it. Like, that's what I want. Maybe D tackle should think a little bit. Like, they got to plug holes a little bit. But if you're just straight up edge rusher on third down and long, like, I don't want you to think at all. I want you to figure out how to get past that tackle and sack the quarterback. Don't even think. Just do. But anyways, yeah, my point is O-linemen are smart. I want O-linemen smart as hell. I think that's a big thing Bostad looks for and is reigned true. I think something that's really helped this rebuild is the fact that we still have 3 O-linemen, starting O-linemen from that 2024 team. Pretty cool. Pretty good.
It's a luxury.
2 straight Joe Moore semifinalists. Or finalists, actually, because they bring in like 10.
Knock on the door for one.
Yeah, knock it on the door. I already picked it in my hot takes. It's already going to be my hot take in August that this O-line is going to win the Joe Moore Award.
It's a little preview. Bison Drop is dropping again. They've got some cool things on there. They have a pylon from one of the championship games, I think, or one of the practice or something. Go check out bisondrops.com. They're always dropping cool stuff. Nate Tice, Brad, had Nick Marsh as the 11th overall draft pick and Charlie Becker as the 21st in his latest mock draft.
Love that. We've been saying this time and time again, but Nick Marsh is special. I literally said when he made the decision to go from Michigan State to Indiana, he moved himself from a first-round pick to a potential top 15, top 10 pick. Like, this guy is absolutely special. He's been producing since he was a true freshman. Says a lot, very similar like a Roman Hemby, but I would even say Nick Marsh was doing it at a higher level than Roman Hemby was as a freshman. Mostly because, when you're the running back, you're going to munch, right? If you're a receiver, freshman playing doesn't necessarily guarantee you're going to get your numbies. He was getting his numbies as a true freshman. Bad quarterback at the time. Freshman quarterback. I'm an Aiden Childs believer. Bad quarterback at the time because he was a freshman.
Bad quarterback play.
Becker, 6'4", going to run like 4.3 at the combine when he gets out there.
Oh, he's running right past Lorenzo Styles.
No, dude, he might break 4. He might break into that 4.2s and just melt brains. He might just
I don't know what his actual 40 time is going to be, but his play speed is fast. It's a third.
Dude, he's going to get the Lad McConkey treatment until he runs like a wicked 4.3 flat at the combine.
Did you see the picture of Lad?
Like, what the fuck? Those guys might both be top 20 picks.
I agree. I actually was a little bit stunned that Becker was that far down the list.
Best receiving duo in college football.
Did you see the picture of Lad McConkey and CeeDee Lamb and Neighbors?
No.
Lad looked like the tallest one in the group. That's all I'm saying. So that was a little
Lad
high.
McConkey, CD Lamb, and Nate. Well, CD is supposed to be like really tall, like 6'2".
No, maybe. I don't know. I
Swear,
think they undersell Lad then. I don't know. He looked big.
I love Lad McConkey. I mean, that is like one of the greatest examples of how I know I got the eye test. Because like you watch a guy literally catch the ball, run in circles around the defense, go score touchdowns week in and week out. People are like, oh, I don't know. Is this guy gonna be good? I don't know. Like it's crazy. Like I don't know how people like don't just like see the guy who makes all the plays for the championship winning team and just
That's the
assume
theory
that
I'm
he's gonna
working
be like
on.
a first, like a stud. He's the best receiver out of his class. He went second round somehow. I don't even know how it's possible. If I'm sitting in a GM's office and we're at pick 32, and I'm like, somehow Lad McConkey's on the board. I know we have like 2 all-pro receivers, but I mean, we just have to take this guy. We just have to take him. He's a surefire thing. You want to hit your first-round picks, that guy's a lock.
I've been putting out the Family Guy clip a lot where Peter and Lois are sitting there and they get presented a boat or a box. And Peter's like, we have to take the box. It could be anything. It could even be a boat. So many people are taking the box. They're taking the box when the boat is sitting right there. A lot of boats on the Indiana Hoosiers. Take the boats.
Yeah, I'm taking the Lad McConkey, the SS Lad McConkey every time.
Take the boat. Take the boat. Did you see our new trophy case?
Yes, I did. Finally.
It goes hard.
Yeah.
It goes hard.
I need to make it bigger. I don't know if it's big enough.
It's definitely not big enough, but it looks damn cool right now.
We'll just make a new one that size for each year we do what we just did.
They'll be carving out new wings.
Yep. Well, the money for it, that's for sure.
Oh, that's right. We can talk about that right now. Did you see Mark Cuban's comments from his sit-down interview with Front Office Sports?
Yes. Caught it.
I did not see the whole interview. Obviously, I saw the comments that were blasted everywhere. Basically, he said that he was the one who put up the money specifically for Fernando Mendoza. I don't know. We were bouncing this back and forth. Like, I'm inclined to believe the guy. Why would I not believe him?
I don't know why he would ball-face lie. It doesn't seem like something Mark Cuban would do. We've only said that he's just not the biggest donor. And what he said was he was the one who put up the rest of the money. He didn't pay for the entire Mendoza deal. Like he didn't. He literally said it. Like he's like, I paid for the rest of it. We're close. We have the money, but we need a little bit more. And Cuban's like, sure. Why not? Probably $800K. Sure. I'll do the extra $800K to outbid Georgia, and we're in. We're off and running.
I'm not going to sell him. I don't know. We obviously don't know what the number was. We obviously
we'll never know.
He was enticed to give during the.
You will never know that number unless Mendoza goes on a podcast after he retires and says it. That'll be long gone. That's going to be like 15 years, 20 years from now. So that'll be like Hoosiers Live episode, like, I don't know, 500.
Yeah, we've done 60 of these bad boys. Sorry, excuse me. I'm trying to get the name of the account who's started to track retention because the Indiana Hoosiers, it was Athlete Linked. They tweeted out a retention graph. Indiana had the number 1 retention score amongst Power 4 teams. Bottom line is they're retaining all their guys, and they're retaining the guys they want. And that is the strongest indication of culture that you can possibly look for. Number 1 in the Power 4 conference. So obviously, what was your takeaway when you saw the graph? Because when I saw that, I was like, yeah, no shit.
That's like the biggest news of the offseason. It's like, yeah, go figure. The only guys they really lost from last year was some depth pieces, right? Dontre Henderson, he goes to Arkansas State. Jaja Boyd, he goes to Colorado. Alberto Situational, obviously, goes to Georgia Tech. And then Evan Lawrence goes to San Diego State. Like, only 2 of those 4 guys even went to Power 4 schools in the long run. Like, I would love to have those guys back if it makes sense and Cignetti likes them. But, if there's no spot for you, there's no spot for you. And that's how this team's been operating. Like, this isn't a new thing. Cignetti hits on the guys he brings in, at least from the portal. So, like, if you're coming in as a freshman, it's just tougher sledding, right? And are you built for that shit? Are you going to develop? Are you going to beat some guys out? And if you don't, it's okay. You can still have a great college career and go make a comeback and, like, possibly even get drafted. Like seeing Jaja Boyd get drafted would put a smile on my face. Like damn straight. I think that'd be awesome. Working under Dion as a DB, I think that's a dream. Like honestly, don't know if they have the best overall coaching staff, but like if I'm a DB, like I'm definitely taking a hard look at Colorado every single time. Like it's the greatest DB possibly ever out there, right? Coaching me as a head coach. Would love that mentorship, but yeah, I mean, it's just a great sign of program health, which has always been like we're talking checking boxes. Like Indiana's been checking these boxes for a while, which is why we're so adamant that they're going to be legit title contenders in 2025 and how they're going to be legit title contenders again in 2026, despite George Reister's opinion. Oregon alone, by the way.
I thought it was proper rage bait from George. I thought it was a hilarious comment that
it was very obvious what it was.
Like, I honestly don't even remember what it was. I didn't engage with it. I saw some people getting into it and him flipping it as some sort of story about the roster never being the same. It's like, what, he's never going to recruit guys from high school and then start them? I don't know. What about the guys he already recruited from high school and started and is doing right now? So I don't know. It is kind of funny. People like want to change or adjust or twist the narrative, and it's like, nah, it is what your eyes tell you it is. Sometimes it is the simplest answer, and the fact is that they're really good at what they do.
Mm-hmm. Damn straight.
There is no secret. There is no magic. The AFCA
board doing the right things. Like there is no secret sauce. That's the secret sauce. There is none.
Yeah,
it's like the Krabby Patty formula.
You try and reinvent the wheel. Like why? The wheel's awesome. Watch things move around.
Yeah, we do. We have a standard. We do everything to that standard. Everyone gets better, and we win a bunch of games, and we all go league.
Yeah.
If you want in, you're in. If you want out, you're out. Like here's the money we're offering. If you want in, you're in. If you want out, you're out.
Yeah, it's really up to you. Like
find someone else to do it. Like
yeah,
we'll find someone who wants to smoke. Like that's simple. It's funny to preface that before we're going into recruiting, because that really is the sentiment. Like, we're going to talk about all these guys in recruiting, and, like, it would be awesome to get them because, obviously, they're very talented players, like blue-chip guys, like great clay to play with, right? Like I just said, great clay. We'll find other clay. We'll go to Michael's, and we'll find different clay. Like, it's fine. We'll be okay.
Yeah, watch this guy build. He can build. He's all right.
Yeah.
He can mold.
One guy likes playing with clay. It's Kurt Signetti. Damn right. that guy's one of the best clay guys out there right now. Saban before that. Saban was great at it too.
Yeah. It's not an accident that his last guy was Caleb Downs. It's not an accident.
No.
Yeah. The AFCA coaching board released a list of suggestions for the greater college football audience, I guess. I'm not even sure what the intended I don't know what the reason was for this. I don't know if there's going to be legit consequences to the words they said, but they're looking for, quote, an expanded playoff with maximum participation, which I'm not sure what that means yet. I have to wait for somebody to break that one down for me. They want to eliminate the conference title game across the board, which
don't hate it. Don't hate it. If you're going to expand,
if they implemented that this year, Indiana would become the last real Big Ten champion in the history of the conference. So I don't know if I'm terribly opposed to that one. I thought it was kind of funny. And they want to, which is already happening right now, end the college football playoff by mid-January. Just stop pushing the game back. It already ends on the 20th. Like, why do we need to go? What's mid-January, the 15th? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that's good math. Good math, Keys.
How do you think they would use mid-January though? They would categorize, like they'd probably cut it into thirds.
Yeah, the scary thing, the only thing that really I like the idea is like if you're going to expand, like get rid of the college football playoff, like or get rid of the conference championship, like the things they're thinking about is correct, like the way they're thinking about it. The trouble thing that I think people are overlooking is that part of the lore of college football and the NFL for that matter, and what makes football so appealing is that truly, to its core, those individual games mean more than any other sport. Soccer has a longer season. Hockey has a long season. Baseball has a long season. NBA has a long season. College basketball is close because they have one of the shorter seasons comparatively to all those. Close. But like football, those individual games, those regular seasons matter. That is why NFL is king, because that week 7 matchup matters. That comes into play 10 weeks later Always has, always will. College football is the same way. That's part of the big lore, is that big random ass Alabama-Tennessee game, not random, it's one of the greatest college rivalries of all time, but that Alabama-Tennessee game that happens every year, that matters. That has championship implications, always has, always will. And I think that's part of the lore that draws people in, is that these random Saturday games, random in quotes, obviously, is they really do matter, and they have championship feel to it. They have championship implications, and losing that by expanding the field, I think, is very dangerous in the long haul. For the playoff would have crazy numbers. Don't get it twisted. We're going to keep watching no matter what, but the overall lore of the regular season would die down naturally, because part of that is like, you got to win. The fact that you can now go 8-4 in theory and make the college football playoff, like, what the hell are we doing here? Like, you can lose 1 out of 3 games and compete for a national title. The only way this makes sense is if they have to auto bid to every single conference champion. Has to be every single conference champion auto bid. They're going to expand. Has to be the case. 100,000% has to be the case. If they don't do that, it's all. I'll lose it. I'll actually will have to drive down to wherever the CFP headquarters are and fix it myself.
It's in Indy, isn't it?
That's where the NCAA is. I don't know where the CFP is. I think they're in Frisco. So I'll have to go down to Frisco, which is a much longer drive for me. Willing to do it and make the changes myself. Like, you have to do it that way, or else it doesn't make any sense. Like, obviously, they're expanding it to make a cash grab for all these Power 4 schools and make it a Power 4 party show. Basically make Marshall irrelevant. Like, I love Marshall. Like, I want Marshall. If they win their conference, we have a 24-team field. Like, yeah, they should get their shot, right? Like, they should. And the scary part about that is that I'll go even further, is that we have NIL and portal, and it's like, because you have to do that, right? But then I'm also of the thinking where it's like, that's not fun, right? Then we have freaking USC beating the piss out of Marshall on a random December Saturday. Like, I don't necessarily need that, right? Like, I want the GoDaddy Bowl where the Sun Belt champion plays the MAC champion. They just freaking go at each other in Mobile, Alabama. Like, I love that shit. Like, getting rid of that is the lore of college football is dying. Like, there are so many aspects that you can go through, and it's they can't do it. They can't. 12 makes sense. 12 is perfect, actually. And maybe they can change how they seed them and who gets in and who doesn't, but 12 is the perfect number, right? Like, that, you cannot go any bigger than that. 16, like, at that point, what's the point of getting the 1 seed at that point, right? Like, it has to be 12. It has to be 12. You got to be able to play for a bye in the playoff, and then you also want to play to get into the field. And you have to earn that on the field with your regular season. It's only a 12-game schedule, 5 games less than the NFL. Like, we're going to expand it larger than the NFL field?
At a certain point, it's going to end up longer than the regular season.
But it's like, this isn't the NFL is my point. Like, NFL, you have 9 and 8 teams, but it's like, that's fine because they're professional football teams. Like, they'll be fine out there. Like, they won't die. Like,
it feels like a different way to, it feels like a way to try and eventually, like, take control of the entire regular season, where you're calling, like, the entire thing, like the college football playoff regular season at a certain point, because they're going to end up with so many different rounds that it's going to end up being more weeks than the regular season. Like, I'm with you.
And the thing that scares me the most is how quickly they're moving, right? Like,
the fact that they want the auto bids for the bigger conferences, like the Big Ten and the SEC, as much as they don't want to be like, we're in bed with this shit, like both of them are like, let's have all the auto bids. And you already heard it with the tournament stuff, where it's like, I heard Will Wade talking to John Rothstein, basically being like, we're going to have 14, 15 teams in the field every year because they're expanding to 70s. Like, this is what these guys are thinking. Like, it is not to include the little guys. Like, it is, to your point, a Power 4 party, and it's really a Big Ten SEC party. And as much as that probably benefits us,
I don't like it, because guess what? We'll be
feels dirty and commercialized.
I don't need to see. We don't need.
That's not the point of college football.
You don't need a participate trophy for USC for going 8-4. I don't need it. No, USC doesn't even want it. Like, do you think USC wants to get in barely at the 24 seed and then play the 13 seed or whatever, or 9? It would be 9 seed at that point, and they'd play the 9 seeded like A&M and just get swamped. Like, I don't think anyone wants that. Like, it's not
how big is it
good for anyone. I know there's money involved and people will get money. That's fine.
I know.
It's like, No, just no. Just no.
All right.
Shut it down. What's scary is it took here's one last point. It took us 100 years to get us to a national championship game in 1998. From there, it took us about 16 years to get to a 4-team playoff, which is crazy because it's like that's really quick comparatively, where it's like there's probably decades of wanting a national title game, and it took them so long to get it, and then it just takes them a decade and a half to get to 4, to get to a playoff. And then 10 years later, boom, 12 team. And now all of a sudden, like 3 years after that, we're going 24. Like, get out of here. Like, no shot. Like, that just can't happen that quickly either. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, can they let the thing breathe?
I think this is acceptable is if we redistribute the conferences, include the FCS, and then maybe I'll consider a 2014 playoff. Maybe we'll think about it.
It's a lot of dominoes that need to fall, Brad. Yeah, I have way more pressing questions for you than if they're going to include the FCS in this new hypothetical 2014
I don't care about the 2014 playoff because we'll be the 1 seed anyways. I don't care.
I'll start you off with here's a layup, a lob. I'll put it on the tee for you. An easy question. Do you think the success of last year is going to change the mindset of this football team on a scale of 1 to 10? How nervous does that make you? 10 being the most nervous, 0 being not nervous at all.
I'll put it at a 4 only because I'm not really that nervous, but it is different guys, right? It's different players. It's different personalities. What makes me feel so confident about it is the 18 guys that were on the 2024 team that get the deal after 2 full seasons with Cignetti and can be leaders on this team and really implement it. So I would say like a 4. I can move that down to a 3 and hear it out, but I'm nowhere near a 5. Like, you know what I mean? I'm probably like a 3.4, and I rounded up to 4, right? Like, that's where I'm at. I'm very not nervous about it. The only reason I'm nervous is that there are different players, there are new players, new personalities, and you got to rebuild the house, right? Signetti says it himself. Like, you got to rebuild a new house. And maybe this house isn't as good as the other house. Maybe there's termites. I don't know. We just don't. There's things we just don't know.
Yeah, I would say I'm at a 2. I'm with you. The only reason I would even say it'd be that high is because you have heard that nobody's even talking about last year while we're getting the championship rings and we're seeing all that stuff, right? Like it's diamonds are shiny, Brad, and the sand was a really nice touch. They did a kick-ass job with those, but it's like it's hard to not think about last year when you're looking at all of that. And so obviously those pieces of doubt creep in, but to a point that you've made a couple times in the last couple of weeks is Kurt Cignetti is pretty much brainwashed this football team, and really anybody who's come into this culture is you have to move on. You really don't have a choice when you're involved in this program. And so I'm really not that concerned about it at all, but the diamonds look nice.
I agree. I'm not really worried about it. I was trying to be like, I don't know.
No, I don't think
players, so I put it at a 4. I think it's fair.
I think it's more than fair. I think it's more than fair to assume that natural thoughts of success may or may not impact the team.
Good thing we have a watchdog for complacency.
Yeah, that's why the head guy is so important. How concerned are you about the health of the offensive line? I know we've been told Carter Smith's going to be 100% go for the fall. We've been told Bray Lynch is completely fine. How does it bother you at all that we didn't really see what the starting quote unquote offensive line will look like yet, or is it spring ball and it doesn't bother you at all?
It doesn't bother me just because there's so much. Are you talking more so like how the O-line is going to be this upcoming season or how banged up they are? So I feel like those are different answers for me.
How banged up they are. Like, do you think health is going to be a problem?
No, because they have about 3 months. That's a long time till spring ball. And then most of them got the full spring off as well. Or at least Carter Smith did. And I think earlier the better. Would love to get their stamina and their strength back. I think that's where fall camp's going to really come into play. But as long as they're back by fall camp, I think we're all good. So I got it at a 5, just because like, what if something happens? What if it lingers? The lingering injuries are concerning, right? But yeah, I'm only really at a 5, and I don't really see it going above that at all. I only see it going lower.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's at a 4 for me, only because the only place we've seen Signetti be a little bit coy is the length of injuries right now. We've been told they're all fine, so I'm taking it at face value. But if you're going to ask me to be nervous about one thing, it's the fact that we didn't see Carter Smith suit up. It's the fact that we know Bray Lynch was a little bit beat up, and we know those guys are going to play through it. But I'd be lying if I didn't say 16 football games wasn't something I was thinking about going into it the offseason. But obviously, like you're saying, you see those guys back out there running around in fall camp. You understand they're young guys that are in its football. Yeah, we'll probably be all right. But no, I'm
Also,
with
a
you.
new strength coach. That's something else to call out. I think one thing that should make you feel good is Drew Evans had a torn Achilles, which is one of the worst injuries in athletics. Probably number one worst injury in athletics is a torn Achilles, and he was able to come back and win a championship, and they're undefeated with him on the field. So that's a good sign. So
100%. How concerning is the youth at tight end for you, Brad?
The youth at tight end, put a number on it.
I can lead with this one if you would
I'll
like.
go 6 in terms of 10's most concerned. It's a 6, and the reason why it's not higher is because they have so much receiver depth to where I don't think it's going to be too big of an issue. And another great thing is that this is by far it's their highest blue chip ratio on the roster, with 2 out of 6 guys are blue chips of that group. So they're young, but they're also really athletic. And the guys that aren't considered blue chips are like fringe guys, like Gibbs was like could be a fringe blue chip. Thierry could have been a fringe blue chip coming out as well. They have a lot of talent and athleticism and size where they now 5 guys. Shout out. It's not an ad read. 5 guys who are above 230 pounds in that tight end room where they just got a lot of beef and a lot of good athleticism. I think it just makes for really good competition in the long run. But I guess for this upcoming season, I got it at a 6.
Interesting. It's funny. I'll go the complete opposite way. I'm at like a 3 here. And that's because I think what is sometimes the most overlooked member of this coaching staff is Grant Kane, who's the tight ends coach and the special teams coach. And he's been able to get the most out of that room for 2 straight years in this building, basically, with, like you just alluded to, this is our highest blue chip ratio on the roster right now. So obviously he doesn't have the experience that he's had in that room, but it's the most amount of talent he's had to work with. I've really liked what I've seen from Andrew Barker as a blocker. Obviously, we're really high on Blake Theory. They were calling him Theory on the announcements or the announcers. I don't know if they had it wrong or we had it wrong. I'm pretty sure we have it right. I don't know. We'll have to look into that. But I think they have. Oh, and obviously we didn't get to see Shot really get after it too much during the spring. But I think because of who's leading that room, it gives me a lot of confidence that room's just going to produce regardless of who they end up running out there.
I agree. I think if they're on the field, they're ready to go. I don't think, like, if they're not ready to go, they'll just go more 4 wide, you know?
Yeah, we'll have a counter. And ultimately, if it ends up being an issue where you're right, like, we will adjust. This offense is not just going to be like, it didn't work. I guess we'll just grind into it for the next 12 weeks.
What's good about the RPO system is that you can run it out of spread. So that's like a really big plus to what the core of the scheme is that it can go no tight ends. So we can go spread, zone, RPO, whatever. We can run all that.
All right.
Especially with the great old line we have too, by the way.
What is your level of concern with Josh Hoover implementing the Sig Shanahan offense?
About a 0. I'll put it at a 1 just to give it a score because I think calling anything a 0 or a 10 I think is naive. So I'll put it at a 1. Signetti has the greatest track record in active college football for quarterbacks, above Ryan Day. I'll say it right now. With the Philip Rivers on his little resume, like that pushes him above anything Ohio State's come out with over the years. And what really is promising about their development is that Tino's back from that 2024 team, and we really just need Curtis Rourke level production. It's kind of like perfect fit there. And they love the VR, right? I think the VR is a big piece of this, right? Like getting him in the headset, getting those reps in, becoming decisive. I think that really helped Mendoza, especially such a smart kid. Like he was almost he had a perfect season, and that's why they went 16-0 and went all the way. Even if he's not even at that level, I mean, the roster is just gonna around him is gonna level him up as well, level the rest of the team up, and be able to overcome some of those mistakes where it feels like a lot of things did go our way in 2025. Like let's call the elephant in the room, like the Omar Cooper catch, that whole drive. Many things could have gone wrong, like Ohio State not converting in the red zone. Like there was a lot of things that went right, and credit to our team to get it done, right? Like they did that shit, but in a vacuum, they were lucky. They were lucky, and that's why they went 16-0. I'm not saying they wouldn't have won the national title, but they got lucky to go 16-0. They did.
Well, it's happened once since Yale did it before the forward pass was invented. I don't think that's
so you need a little luck. If you're gonna run the table in college football, you need a little luck on your side. It's just kids playing ball, so you need a little bit of that. Not taking any credit away from the team. They got it done and will forever be
no, you got to make the plays.
But they did it. Yeah, exactly. You got to do it, right? But they did do it. And, I think back to Hoover, that VR is just going to really, get him up to speed real quick. And I'm super excited. I hope that's what he's doing all summer. Get him in the VR the whole time. Be in the facility, rip the VR every day, get ready, and have a killer fall camp and just tear up the best defense in the country in camp. Can't wait.
I know you just said it's disingenuous to give anything a 0 or a 10. I'm giving this a complete 0. I'm not nervous about this at all. To your point and the point that you've been making all show, Curt Cignetti is the best evaluator of the quarterback position in the game right now. You didn't even mention the fact that he literally just had the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Who plays what position? Oh, quarterback. Yeah. I am not worried at all that the guy who's picked 9 straight different guys to run his offense may or may not have found somebody to run the offense. It's there are a few certainties in life, and one of those certainties is Curt Cignetti is going to pick a good quarterback. So I am negatively concerned about Josh Hoover's ability to pick up this offense. I think it's the most quarterback friendly offense maybe I've ever seen. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not nervous about this at all. I think he's a really smart kid. I don't think Curt Cignetti would be as confident in the media about Josh Hoover if he wasn't certain. I think there would be a lot more Tyler Cherry talk because you could tell he was really impressed with the camp Tyler Cherry had. There was Tyler Cherry talk, not in the way that, oh, he's going to go take the job. There was Tyler Cherry talk in the way of he's playing.
Oh, we got a QB too.
Yeah. It never got to that point. And negatively concerned about Josh Hoover's ability to run this offense.
I think something we've learned over the years is that Cignetti does not mince words. So if he is speaking very highly of you, it usually is a very, very good sign. He will tell you if we are ass, which he did say after the spring game.
And then last but not least, Brad, and this is going to lead us into the big topic of the show.
He also said that we're going to be very good in the fall. We're going to be he's like, we're not very good now, but we're going to be a good team in the fall. I promise.
We could run that we could literally run the unit that played in the spring game out there and win 10 games this year.
I think so too.
Which is the crazy thing. But let's talk about it, Brad. How concerned are you with the current recruiting landscape of this roster? Put a number on it first, and then I'll just let you open up. Because I'll preface this by saying I'm not concerned at all. This is another 0 for me.
Okay. Well, I am are you talking high school recruiting?
Yeah.
From a high school recruiting standpoint, I'm about at a 7. And the only reason why it's not higher, actually, I'm going to put it at an 8 because it is a low commit count for where they are comparatively to the rest of the Power 4. It's very low. It's very concerning. They should have, if everyone were to stay, around 20 to 25 spots. So they should be looking for a class of around 20 to 25 because they'll have guys still probably leave early, and they'll be able to fill those holes with the portal. The only reason why it's not higher is because that's something Cignetti's been able to do over the years is really hit on those portal guys to fill in any gaps that they may have. So, at the end of the day, if they only were able to bring in a class of 10, they'll be able to backfill. They'll just bring in more seniors and honestly be better than they would have.
I know everybody's looking for all this news and all these pops and this guy commits here and whatever. I until it becomes time to be extremely nervous, and that's around signing day in December, quote unquote signing day or whatever it used to be. No, I'm not nervous in the least bit that this staff won the national championship and then can't figure out how to recruit. Like, no, my guess would be it's probably the opposite, and they have to make some really tough decisions about who they really want to take and who they don't, because the one thing that we've heard repeatedly from the recruiting guys, and I didn't get to Wilt Fong this week, and I'm not even, did he drop anything about Indiana? I'm not even sure. But this is not like, they are being selective, and there are a lot of people who like it. Obviously, I'll pat us on the back and say we were pretty early on it, but we're not the only people who are watching what's happening in Bloomington and being like, it'd be pretty cool to be a part of that as a football player. Like, the actual kids who play football are watching the development happen in front of their eyes. 2 years taking them from the worst to the best, and they're listening to what the things that Monshon Sales was saying last week. And like, yeah, this is a program that a lot of kids want to come and play at. And so I know there hasn't been a ton of like popping, splashing momentum of this guy's committed or whatever. No, I'm not nervous about the fact that these dudes who were able to recruit to Indiana, they brought Byron Baldwin Jr. to this school before they had any success. Jalen Hollywood Bell to this school before they had any success. Landino, follow, you know what I mean? Like, I am not worried in the least bit about these guys' ability to sell the vision. I understand why people might be, but I also think that people are nervous for the wrong reasons. I actually think that they have a finite amount of spots, and who do you ultimately choose to give it to you when you have your pick of the litter? That is a much different decision than we found our guy, you know?
Yeah, I'm not afraid of their ability to sell the vision. I think they do that very, very well. What's concerning to me is the low commit count. Spin zone, go Lakers, by the way. Spin zone, it gives us more to talk about because I think we're in shape for a really, really strong summer on the recruiting front. I think we're in a great position for a lot of guys that have already been on campus. I think, and you said, like, they got to pick guys, right? Like, there was a recent commit to Notre Dame. His name is Aiden O'Neal. This guy made a few unofficials, a couple, more than two, to Indiana over the years. And they ended up not even making his top four because I think they moved on and brought other guys on campus before him that play a very similar position. I'm really excited to go kind of through that. He committed to Notre Dame. He's going to be a great player. 4-star recruit out of Don Bosco Prep. Like, really, like,
shout out to New Jersey football, baby.
Him out over there in Jersey.
It's a Notre Dame feeder up there. If we can crack into that talent pool, that'd be awesome. We offered 2 kids from Tom's River today, or the other day, and that
this class,
not the same area, but 27, I think. Yeah, 27, 28, one of those two. Yeah, they're twins.
Well, let's break down 2027, right? Let's do it. We want to.
I'm handing off the reins.
I'm taking the wheel. Watch out. We're going on a ride. But yeah, we'll start with the quarterback, and I'm really like going to go this about in like a kind of a mindset, like what spots do we need to fill, right? So in 2027, I'm assuming everyone that is eligible will be coming back in this exercise, right? Like, probably not the reality. In reality, some guys are going to be very talented, especially if we find success again like we did last year. A lot of guys are going to be able to leave early, go right to the pros, and make a lot of money right away, which I think is very exciting and a great opportunity. But in this exercise, I'm going to assume that everyone is coming back. So we got Tyler Cherry and Jacob Bell already on scholarship. Obviously, Maverick Geske, the preferred walk-on, and is picking up the offenses. Only have heard great things about him. The fact that he's even mentioned is a great sign from a walk-on guy. But scholarship-wise, bringing back Cherry and Bell. Already have Jamison Purcell committed. Seems locked in. Comes from an IU family. Really don't see anyone reaching in there and swiping the cookie away from us. I think we're in a good spot there. And that's a position group where also, like, you would like to have 4 scholarship guys. And I think that opens the room to bring in another transfer to compete with Tyler Cherry coming in next year. So I think they're set up very well at the quarterback position. And I don't really see them going after any other freshman targets as of right now. Doesn't really seem like a big thing. So quarterback's pretty set right now. So then we'll move on. Yeah.
I would only add to that there was, at least to me, seemed like a little bit more than, like, I would call it real smoke around. I think they did sniff around for Keegan Croucher. I didn't like go and confirm that or the Ole Miss kid who was kind of looking around, but there was more than a couple like mentions of him that I didn't think were like by accident. You know what I mean? But ultimately, it didn't really make much sense to add to the class because of how good Jamison Purcell had, for first of all, how long he's been committed. Second of all, how he's been performing. It didn't really make sense.
How long ago were those murmurs?
It It was a while.
I started playing catch up after spring. Like as soon as spring ended,
No,
like,
it was we've been off for a while. Like it never really materialized. It was like, why do we keep appearing in rumors with this guy? And then all of a sudden we were off of it, which makes sense.
Foot cramp. Lakers down 10. All right. It's still in striking distance with Braun. Anyways, on to running back. So very exciting group.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Apparently from Commando in the chat, apparently Tino visited Croucher today.
What? Keegan Croucher at a Baylor school.
I'm behind.
He's committed to Ole Miss currently.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll add him to the board, but he is currently committed. So it's like makes it really tough. Haven't gotten him on campus. So it's like all these guys I'm going to be talking about have visits scheduled and by that means that like if you have a publicly visit scheduled, like I'm going to consider that as real and run with it, right? And
I think that's fair.
But yeah, we got like guys like Croucher maybe like could bring him in, like would be fun, especially with like could make that type of move could make sense, especially if we're like thinking like Tyler Cherry could be QB1 next year. And then we got Bell, Purcell, and Croucher battling for QB2. Like that would make me feel good. Honestly, I would like that. I would love some continuity at the quarterback position over a couple of years. Tyler Cherry would be like a multi-year starter with this program. Maybe blows up and goes crazy in that first year and be off to the league. And who knows with this level.
All looks good coming out of his hand, man.
It's the VR, man. The VR, man. It gets people going. Tyler Cherry was off the roster last year. He was in the VR headset the whole time. He was just locked in. He was just running VR. We were beating Wisconsin or whatever, UCLA by 50, and he was just in the locker room in a VR headset the whole time doing that thing. I think I would like to imagine that's what was going on. So yeah, maybe they make a move for a second freshman quarterback and they go a little young again. Like this, they're in a position now where they have like 60 guys potentially coming back next year, where they have a little nucleus of guys that have been around the program for a long time that they built up as kind of like that core of the program, to where now they're in a position to bring in the class of 2025 and they can kind of go youth movement is what we can almost call it, where they might only have like 5 seniors next year if they were to go all in on this freshman class and not bring in a ton of transfers, which could be really exciting, but also maybe we take a rebuild years and like go like 10-2, win a game, like 11-3, win a playoff game, like go to the playoff, and we just have a little rebuild year, but we still find tons of success, win a ton of football games, drink a bunch of beers with the fellas, drink your Hoosier beer at Sluggers. That is an ad read. Donate to NIL. But yeah, we'll move on to running back, and I think what's really cool about this group is they're going to have 4 guys coming back, like Kobe Martin, Turbo Richard, assuming they have great years. Like, one thing that's great is that you don't really see too often multiple guys at multiple positions going into the draft at once. Really, the only time that really happens is if they're all seniors, like a Black and a Hemby. Like, ideally, you want, like, your one representative at running back, like Lee Beebe's at the combine, then you go Turbo Richard, then you go Kobe Martin the year after. Like, whether or not they're, like, not having them all at once, because then they're like competing against each other, and it's like kind of counterintuitive, and it's just like hurting their own draft stocks almost, because they're competing against their own guy. Makes things tough, but like those things can still happen. Like guys can still leave early, but regardless, we're assuming they're back, right? So then that kind of leaves the competition for that third running back spot open, and they already brought in Landon and that will compete with Campbell and Cuono that are already on the roster and doing good things. Was really impressed with Campbell in the spring game. The true freshman, where now they had this 5-star Landon Callis Williams out of Randall High School in Richmond, Virginia. He's between Indiana,
the only Texas kid?
No, he is from Randall and Richmond, Virginia. He's from Richmond, Virginia, DMV guy. Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon, and Texas A&M. The only visit he has scheduled is Indiana, and he's already been on campus. This could be a really big get and a big domino to fall. We already talked about the 3 5-stars last week with Sales, Brewster, and Williams Kalis. Like, I really like her. I think Williams Kalis is the most likely guy to commit out of those three. And no one's talking about it from the Hoosiers side. Like, that would be such a big get. But then we have a three-headed monster of Williams Kalis, Kobe Martin, and Turbo Richard. Like, that is insane. That would be really fun. Like, dude, you're a 5-star coming out. Like, I know I talk about how it's hard for freshmen to break in, but, like, you're a 5-star. Like, you have a really good chance to get early playing time no matter where you go. Like, there's a reason why you have that next to your name.
It's the freshman playing on varsity.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Bang, Keezer. Let's go. I teach you so well.
Yeah. I listen. I pay attention. I absorb.
He's picking it up. He's a sponge, folks.
There's a couple other targets at running back that are pretty intriguing.
For sure. Like, a lot of backup options. Like, we talk 4-star David Segura, who's going to be on campus on May 15th. He's from Duncan, South Carolina, so he's between South Carolina, Tennessee, Penn State. Look at Stanford in there. Wow. And Indiana. So fun. Indiana's going to be his first visit, though, which is really fun for him. And another
Elijah Kimball's been on campus.
Elijah Kimball, the Buffalo kid, North Carolina, Miami, Washington, Indiana. Once again, the reason why they're in such a good position, a lot of these guys, Indiana is their first visit. They have that with Elijah Campbell. They have that with David Segura. They have that with Williams Kalis. And they even have that with Dejon Talley Rhodes, who is basically between Indiana, Penn State, and then like Boston College, Michigan State, Washington. It feels like it's an Indiana, Penn State thing, and he's really just really kind of waiting. I bet he's just waiting on that Williams Kalis decision, seeing where he's going to go, to be quite honest. He's a 3-star guy, fringe 3-star, 4-star guy. They're actually not going after too many 3-stars. Like, I have a board of about 30 visits. 18 of them are blue chip guys. Think about that. They're going for it. I'll say that. They are going for it. They are shooting for the moon. And obviously they'll get their 3-stars that will all be studs, naturally. And, so love that. Great position, like, recruiting-wise, like, at the running back spot, great spot. Great spot to be at. Got a 5-star main target. Got a couple 4-stars matriculated in there, as well as, Dally Rhodes. And they can be it can be really fun. And, you see the Black and Hemby production like that. It's an easy sell. Easy sell. With Kalen Black going top 100, that was huge for the recruiting pitches. And why I feel so good about a Williams Kalis commitment coming up is that Kalen Black sneaking into the top 100. Like, that's all of a sudden you got a pitch. That's Signetti's first top 100 running back NFL guy. Like, that's his first one. Didn't get any. Ellison and Lawton didn't even really sniff NFL rosters. And they had great productive seasons. Like, they were awesome. And then, Hemby's now on the Raiders, which I feel like was by design. I think he wanted to go undrafted to ensure he's with Mendoza. And obviously Black getting in that top 100. Because if you want him at top 100, if you want it to get less political, you just take him in the top 100. That's your guy. Like, I feel like if Black drops past like 150, he's like, all right, we're going to the Raiders. Like, you know what I mean? Like, screw it. But I feel really good. Running backs and quarterback really feel strongly about those groups moving forward. Receiver gets really fun. In theory, could have Marsh and Becker back. In addition to Davion Chandler, LeBron Bond, maybe Miles Kendrick breaks in there a little bit. Still got Cortez Rupert and LeVar Keys in the wings, and they have a good amount of – I think you just got to address the elephant in the room. We just talked about those two main guys, Marsh and Becker, as like potential NFL, like top 20 picks. So, like, got to think at least one of them goes. Right, like at least
they're both gone, dude. They're both
gone. They're both gone. But at least one of them
they're both gone. Like, what are we talking about? It
almost makes sense. You would think they're going after more receivers, but they're actually not. They only have 3 receivers going on campus so far. That's Monshawn Sales, Showtime, baby. The 5-star, he's really between Indiana and Alabama, but obviously Miami and Ohio State and Texas are making their pitches as well. Obviously, he's a 5-star. Can't count anyone out in those types of races.
Hearing a lot of Texas.
Probably hearing a ton about it because they were probably throwing bags at him, right? So it's about, do you want the bag or do you want to win? That's the decision Showtime Sales has to make. And this guy, like, he reminds me of Randy Moss in the sense where you're a 6'5" track guy. Like, is he the 50-50 ball catcher that Randy Moss is? Of course not. But he's got 6'5" track speed. Like, that does not grow on trees. Julio wasn't even 6'5" track. Julio was probably running 4.5 out of college. Like this sales guy runs the Anchor and the best 4x100 team in the country in high school in Lawrence North. So he's a stud.
He does kind of remind me of Cam Coleman.
No, he's not as built out. He needs to put on
because
some
Cam
weight.
Coleman's a junior in college. What do you mean?
Yeah, but he's a skinny 6'5".
Sales is running track.
Yeah. Cam Coleman, yeah, he could evolve into that. These are high school guys.
No, I know. But I'm just saying,
it's
you talk about a guy that oozes talent very obviously to the naked eye. Like, yeah, that's one.
I'll say this: I'm a skinny guy. He's got 3 inches on me, and we're the same weight. So just let that sink in real quick. Okay?
You also have 10 years on him.
True, I do kind of have that beer gut weight going on for me. I'm still hoping.
What is he going to look like after 6 months in the Kurt Signetti system? Like, yeah, he's going to look a little bit bigger. I remember what
Omar Cooper he's going to play right away. Don't get it twisted. And I want to talk about this other guy, Brylan Odor. He is kind of like a low-end 4-star, but they really like this guy. He is coming onto campus on May 15th out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. He's between Indiana, USF. You want to know why that's significant? Because Brian Hartline coaches there.
Brad.
That is a great offer to have in my mind. If you got the Brian Hartline offer, he thinks you're good at receiver. Yeah. You know, that's a good endorsement. Very similar to Charlie Becker having the Ole Miss offer. And then Odor also has Auburn, and guess what? Ole Miss as well. Wow, that's his top 4 right now. We're his first visit. I think you bring in Odor and Sales after losing Marsh and Becker. Like those are guys that should be projected to contribute right away. And then they're really on this 3-star Braden Sharp, who I feel like is a stash play development guy, who I feel like they're really high on, and they're going to bring in, who will also eventually commit. So if they're able to land all 3 of those guys and lose Becker and Marsh, like I feel like and then maybe bring in one more guy from the portal, like that, all of a sudden receiver room may not be as good, but like has a lot more upside than what we've ever had. Which
that's a guy who people have not watched enough of.
Braden Sharp.
Yeah.
I know we missed out on that. Who was that? The Matha kid that that was committed and then decommitted.
No, you're talking about he ended up going to High Brown. Yeah.
High Brown. He was very good.
You don't want to say anything because at the end of the day, we have no idea where these kids are going to end up committing, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was part of the reason why they were okay with that.
Yeah, it's like really you just said, like you're either in or you're out. Like we'll find another guy. Like Jahide Brown leaves, we'll go get Braden Sharp. Like Braden Sharp,
I think he was in the plans regardless.
Yeah, he probably was, and that's the thing. Like I said, they're probably gonna bring in additional. Like if were able to bring in all 4 of those guys, I don't think they go for a portal guy. But now they might have an extra spot with Becker and Marsh leaving.
I think you're looking at what they classically do is you're bringing in 1 or 2 guys from high school, and then they're gonna try and fill look at who they went and got in the portal in the last couple of years. Like Tyler Morris coming back this year is a complete luxury. Like the fact that they just have him around, and maybe they are planning on having one of Marsh or Becker back, but you also look at what they've been able to do with guys in one season. Like it's the best portal sell in the country. Like if you're not going to get the absolute bag of all bags from Texas or the bag of all bags from Miami, you know what I mean? And you're not going to get some exorbitant amount. Where are you actually going to get better, develop, and get a chance to go play in the NFL? There's nobody doing it better right now for as much of a factory as Ohio State has always historically been. What Indiana has been able to do with guys that have been historically overlooked at every position, it's the best sell for any guy who truly wants to win. And that's why they'll be able to keep the culture, because they'll be able to get the right guys who want to buy in. You're attracting the right people. So it's
they can go throw bags at high school is all they want. We're going to keep doing our thing. But that's who we're targeting. We still, despite all that, might get Showtime sales for.
Yeah, I don't think they're unreasonable. Like this is a guy who is building those Nick Saban early championship teams. Like we want to act like we're like. I'm not saying like we're not doing anything, but you know what I mean. Like this is a guy who knows how to build a roster. Like he understands that if you want the best type of freshman as you start moving up the ladder, like you have to go. If you want a 5-star, you got to get a 5-star. Like that's how you play the game. This guy's played the game for his entire life.
You like him if he's got the right stuff, as Signetti likes to say. Like you go get him,
and he's worth it.
Yeah. And Trojan Fight asks, "Is that a Lakers jersey?" And yes, it is. Pasadena, California, Loyola High School. What is up, Trojan Fight? I'm as LA as it gets. Live in
See,
Chicago.
common ground, commonality. How could you not?
That's how I know so much about you guys. I know everything about you. I know all your little dirty secrets, USC. I know all about it. I know about Brian Cushing. I know about Ray Monaluga. I know about John David Booty. I know all these guys. I even know who Dwayne Jarrett is, Big Mike Williams. Come on now. Bobby Trees. We talking about? USC, man. They got some war, I'll tell you that. They have a right to be as cocky as they are. They've had some sick ass players come through there, like Nelson Aguilar. They had like Marquise Lee, Nelson Aguilar, and Robert Woods.
Refocus,
there.
because I think I know where we're going next. I'm kind of excited to talk about it.
Yeah. So then it kind of segues us in to tight end, where we're actually in a battle. Whoa, where do you think I was going to go?
Oh, I thought you were going to the line, but no, talk about the tight ends.
No, I'm going to the tight end room, which we're very young, but we do have a couple guys going on to visits. And this is why I implied, like, yeah, these guys are young, but they're going to battle it out. Iron sharpens iron. May the best man win. And who's kind of left out might have to go find greener pastures, because you really don't want a ton of guys with similar classes, right? You don't want a bunch of freshmen and seniors, because then it's like eventually they're all going to want to play. And they just straight up won't be able to, because they're all seniors and juniors, and they're still battling between the six of them. So it's inevitable, right? So they're going to supplant that. They're going after some big time tight end targets. First one being the blue chip out of New Palestine, Indiana, Mason Oglesby, 6'4", 220. He's between Indiana, Ohio State, USC, Kansas, North Carolina, and Purdue. He's been on campus at Indiana, North Carolina, and Purdue. USC's obviously a player there. Ohio State,
he was also on campus
a player there. North Carolina has been said to be making big pushes for him. I think this is probably one of the most heavily recruited tight ends.
This is the most heavily contested, I think, one that they're probably.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough battle for them. But we'll love to bring in a guy of this caliber, up that blue chip ratio, get that blue chip ratio up to like 50% of the tight end room. Like, man, that's gross. And that would be
only
awesome.
half this podcast endorses blue chip ratio.
And we can well, I mean, obviously it doesn't matter in the long run, but I'm tracking it to see if it actually like improves Signetti. Like, are they winning natties by 50 now because they have a bunch of blue chips? Like, I'm learning on the fly here, that's why I'm tracking it. Because if they're winning the natty with that blue chip ratio, like, man, if that blue chip ratio gets up to 50, like, and
you wonder why I wake up so excited every morning
about that shit. Like,
you wonder why I'm so excited to talk about the Indiana Hoosiers every all the time. It's because those thoughts are going through my head. Is what does it look like? What does it look like? I don't know. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of do. But we kind of do know.
Yeah. Oh, we all know. Well, but the world will soon know. And then they're also going after an Arizona kid named Talon Scott. He's going on campus May 15th. Very common theme here. Auburn, Kansas, SMU, Washington State, and Indiana. He's a 3-star guy, so it's not the craziest. Yeah, I don't think so either, Trojan Fight, because you guys paid Mark Bowman like $5 million, which I don't know what you were thinking, to be quite honest. He might be good, sure. But, I mean, he's a freak. His tape was insane. Like, I get it, but I think that's just way too much for him.
We talked about a 10-person class.
Whew. Anyways, but Talon Scott, Auburn, Kansas, SMU, Washington State, and Indiana. Just between the names there, Indiana's the only team that even sniffed the top 25 last year. So feel good for that spot if we want him. Like, I feel like that's the backup plan for Mason Oglesby. So that's what it feels like. Don't see them really bringing in 2 guys. They could get weird, but could be fun too. They definitely have the room for it if they really want to. But yeah, I think Mason Oglesby's plan A, and then Talon Scott's plan B is what it really seems like at the tight end spot. So let's move on.
Listen, they're not afraid to take 2 tight ends. They're not afraid to take 3 tight ends. So I wouldn't rule out anything.
Beautiful. So we're going to move on to O-line.
Yeah, because Commando is saying in the chat that O-line is the only recruiting space that he's worried about. So, Brad, do you share the same worry?
What do you mean they already have a 2026 tight end committed? They should be on campus.
No, he's defending the fact that USC is going to have a smaller class.
Oh, okay. I think he means 2027 class. They already have a tight end, and they brought in Mark Bowman. So, yeah. So I like our odds. I really do think it's between Indiana and North Carolina for Mason Oglesby.
The North Carolina thing was weird. That happened super late, and I wouldn't be surprised if they finally decided.
He's already taken an official visit, though.
No, I know, but it happened later in the in his recruitment.
Well, we're in the prime time of recruitment right now. It's the summer.
No, I'm aware, but when Indiana gets this deep into a recruitment with a kid, like it's usually because they've been tracking him for a couple of years. Like you hear constantly, the theme that comes up with these guys is Indiana's had the first relationship, Indiana's had the longest relationship, and that's what is ultimately keeping them in these things with these bigger brands. And now they can drop the national title on these. I think that's what makes some people have those frustrations of like, why aren't we winning these battles? It's because the national title is like we're firmly in the conversation. It's not enough sometimes to overtake what a lot of these brands are able to throw at people. And I think that's why you have the right guys in the room selling it. And yeah.
I agree. And Schwamathan says I need to upgrade my Zoom background. Disagree. This is actually where it's not a Zoom background, it's where I live. And Trojan fight, I need a Lakers score now. Lakers updates. Can you help me out? Appreciate it. O-line. This is a fun one because they're bringing back like 10 guys. Actually, 9 guys. 9 guys. Wilkins, Simpson, Livefried. Like they're going to lose 4 seniors. Like this is going to be one of those weirder kind of things to kind of wait and see. Are they going to go full youth movement on this O-line? Or are they going to go in full Bostad guys? It's going to be the first time they're not going to have Bray Lynch, Drew Evans, and Carter Smith in the program, period, since Ignite's been there. So it'll be the first time they're actually really revamping the O-line. So it's probably the most exciting room to watch evolve going into the next offseason. And it'll be a big sign to see what they necessarily do based on kind of how this recruiting cycle plays out and how many guys they bring in. Like, are they going to lean in? This is assuming Ajani even comes back, right? Like, that's a guy that I feel like can go early if he wanted to. You know, he kind of projects as a guard. He's an undersized tackle. He's only 6'4". There's a lot of things to it. But assuming Ajani comes back, they have 9 guys with Jeremiah Jones already committed. This is a guy they took as a 0-star recruit. Definitely going to be a gem left tackle of the future. Like, I'm just going to trust that.
I'm so much higher on him than people. Like and obviously I don't have access to full game film and tape, but you watch his huddle and you look at how athletic he is for his size and the way he was able to get downfield, the way he's able to move his body at, again, the size he's at. Like, yeah, that dude is. I get it. Like, I understand why Bo said looked at that. Thank you, Schlomathan. Thank you.
This is where I live.
Just keep it up, guys. Top tier content.
Look at that. It's not a Zoom background. Appreciate you. Woo! All right. Anyways.
But no, I'm much higher on on Jones than a lot of people were. When you watch him move, and it's like, yeah, I understand why Bob Bosta was like, I really like this guy. Let's bring him in. And I know some people were upset about the fact that he didn't have stars, but I've been talking about the Bloomington bump for a year and a half. Like, I trust the eyes that are in our in the room looking at the film so much more than I trust anybody with a Twitter account tweeting things about who and who isn't good. Like, yeah, give me the psychopaths that only know, eat, breathe, sleep football, don't do anything else. Like, I'm taking, if Bob Bostad tells me that guy's good enough to come into his room, I don't need anything else. I'm bought in. And then you watch him move. Yeah. Like, what, you find me another tackle in high school getting up to the 3rd level to go block safeties out in the open field. Go ahead. I challenge you. Please be my guest. I've never seen that before on a high school highlight tape. Maybe I just don't watch enough of them.
The fact they brought him in, he's the first 0-star commit since Roe Hardy, who's probably the best player on this team. So take that for what you will. Yeah, and then they're going after a good crop. We'll call it a good crop, right? You got Caleb Johnson. I'll just start with the Noblesville kids. They got a couple tackles out of Noblesville, Indiana, Noblesville High School. Teammates, Caleb Johnson, who's listed as a tackle. I think he can really I think he brings a lot of versatility. I think that's a guy that can really play all 4 positions, both guard spots and both tackle spots. I think that's an exciting addition potentially. He's between Cincinnati, Iowa, Michigan State, and Indiana. Based on those logos, you got to like Indiana's spot there. He's coming on the campus May 15th. Khalil Johnson, no, Mason McDermott, who's his teammate at Noblesville, Indiana. He's coming May 15th.
Who's been long linked to the Hoosiers.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a big time weekend visit. I've already brought up a lot of guys coming in May 15th. It could really get things going. He's 6'7", 285. By the way, a true tackle body, Mason McDermott. Feels like he's more of a right tackle, and Jeremiah Jones feels like more of a left tackle, just because of how athletic he is.
What freaks you out about Mason McDermott is that I know Iowa is also in on that recruitment, and anytime you hear Iowa and offensive line, it should make you shudder.
Yeah, because Caleb Johnson's on for Iowa too, but his Final Four right now, where all the trends are going, Northwestern, UCLA, which I think should scare the shit out of you even more.
It doesn't.
Missouri and then Indiana. So I like Indiana's spot.
There.
Once again, he's Indiana's first visit. Very similar to Caleb Johnson. Then they have another tackle coming on May 15th. His name's Khalil Johnson, Archbishop Moeller, big-time high school out of Cincinnati. He's a very heavy Ohio State lean at this point. But he's coming on campus May 15th. He's been in Ohio State, North Carolina, UCLA, again, Indiana, Georgia Tech. If we get him like that we're looking really good O-line wise. And I would love to picture just a youth movement for this team. Like, go back to back, do a little youth movement, go just win 3 out of 4, build it up again, and then just really have a lot of sustainability moving forward 3 years out and beyond is what I would love to see, assuming we win the Natty next year. But, yeah, and then who else are we going after on this O-line? But we'll love to get the Noblesville guys. Like, get the guys that are 4 stars in state. They're also looking at kicking the tires on a Connor Rutherford out of Chillicothe, Ohio. He's between NC State, Minnesota, Indiana. And Nicholas Schumann, a 0-star recruit out of Westfield, Indiana. They're very high on him. He's between Indiana and Purdue.
Dominic Black picked up an official visit.
Oh, really? I must have missed that. This is not updated. So, was he offensive line? You got to update the sheet for me, man.
I've been doing a lot of traveling. If you can't tell, I'm in a different background.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's been a long week.
Yeah, so we got options, but I think the priority for these guys should be really bringing in McDermott and Caleb Johnson. They're 4 stars right there, Noblesville, Indiana, teammates. Like, I think getting that duo would really solidify stuff for me in this O-line group. And but obviously the more the merrier, because we want to kind of be at like 14, 15 scholarship guys. That would make me feel really comfortable in terms of where we're at.
At the end of the day, I think your left tackle and right tackle of the immediate future are already on the roster. I think Liebfried is factoring into the offensive line, absolutely. And I think you look at the depth they've been able to build up in the class of 25 and 26. Like, Marek looked pretty comfortable snapping the football. And so who knows who develops out of the class of 24, 25, and 26. Sam Simpson's another guy I didn't even mention who got the spring game start at guard. So I think a lot of things get overblown in terms of recruiting rankings, but nobody was going and screaming from the rooftops that Indiana brought in Drew Evans as a transfer. You know what I mean?
I know we have like a lot of pieces like Wilkin getting snaps at left tackle, like could have Ajani back at right tackle. They're already on the roster.
I would feel comfortable if Ajani was the left tackle.
Yeah, I know. I would too. And with Liebfried, I feel like being so versatile, he can end up being the center. It just really depends. Like, they could do a lot. Like, they might end up going a couple portal guys and to kind of fill the whatever holes they feel are necessary there. Definitely probably the biggest position group to look at going into the next offseason for sure, especially no matter what they do in the cycle. Even if they get Caleb Johnson and Mason McDermott and they have all those guys back, they could still make some noise. And right now, I actually have Liebfried as my starting center in 2027. I have Sam Simpson as my starting left tackle as a redshirt freshman. Could be a spot that we fill through the portal. Left guard.
Left guard.
And then I got Evan Parker moved up there, and I got Matt Merrick as the backup center, but he can easily like move in there. He'd be a 2-year. He'd be considered a Signetti guy, a guy that's been through 2 full seasons in the system, in the program. So, like, really exciting. Like, I think it's just trust Bostad at this point. Like, whatever they do.
Yeah, I'm not against them.
That's like how it is with all these groups, really. It's just like whatever they do, like, we're just going to trust it. But I'm just giving you the lay of the land in terms of what they're prioritizing. I think getting that Noblesville duo, I think, would be huge recruiting-wise for Indiana. Keeping the best players from Indiana in Bloomington, I think, is a big precedent that we want to set. 'Cause it feels like, for some reason, there's like a renaissance in Indiana high school football all of a sudden. Where they got like 10 blue chip guys every year, you know?
Why do you think that is, Brad?
No idea. I can tell you. I didn't realize your main college football staple being good all of a sudden at football would
Would
make.
support the local football economy?
Yeah, I didn't think it'd be that quick. You know.
No, the speed at which it happened has been insane. But yeah, no, it's not surprising to me at all that all of a sudden the football around Indianapolis has ticked up a bit as kids are going to want to, and rightfully so, position themselves to get looked at by this coaching staff. They talk about the 4-hour radius. I don't think it's an accident that they challenge a lot of kids that would typically be Ohio State layups. Like they put a 4-hour circle in each direction. Like that's where the circle is. Yeah. Around Bloomington, and they said everybody in here can be at one of our guys, and they are executing that plan. And I don't care if Notre Dame's up there. I don't care if Ohio State's over there. I don't care if Illinois is out there, Michigan's out there, whatever. Tennessee's down there. If we feel like we can walk in and go talk to a kid, we're going to go talk to the kid and try and sell the vision. And yeah, it's to your point though, if Bob Bosta is going to be like, these are my guys, I'm not going to be the one telling them, no, you're wrong. Go listen to On 3. Go listen to Rivals. I'll take the guy. I'll take Bob Bosta.
I love Jeremiah Jones. I think he's going to be so good. I think he might be a first-round pick when it's all said and done. He might be a 3-year guy. Like that guy, long arms, 6'6", 275. Give him a couple sandwiches. We're ready to go.
I'm saying he can be a starter in the Big Ten. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he is. He is freakish, and very excited for him to come onto campus. But I think that moves on to the other side of the trenches. You know, let's move on to defense. What is Brian Haynes cooking up these days? You know, is he just all Twitter fingers these days, or is he out on the trail? You know, that's the thing I want to know.
He's on the trail. Oh, he's on the trail.
Oh, he's on the trail. He always is. He loves Ohio. Anyways,
I loves Ohio.
Loves Midwest guys. Loves them. And it shows. D-line, a very set group. I think they have like 16 scholarship guys projected to come back next year, including Landino and potentially Ndukwe and Obiazer. Like they could have a really loaded spot, and that feels like the really one open spot is that other D tackle spot. And guess who they're going after? Guess who they just had on campus? The number one commit in the country, the consensus number one overall recruit, Jalen Brewster, a current Texas Tech commit. With all the hoopla going on over there, there months ago we had Flip Watch. We're back to Flip Watch with all the hoopla going on in Texas Tech again. I think there's a reason why they brought him on campus that soon, that early. I know he went to Florida the weekend after. I don't care. I'm not taking Florida seriously. You go to the Natty Champ on a visit on their spring game, little 5 weekend, you got to take that serious. So I'm on true Flip Watch for Jalen Brewster. He's been on campus as opposed to like a Croucher who wasn't, you know. Cedar Hill, Texas. Like I said, just on campus, and like they bring him in, like he can be an instant impact guy in that rotation day one. Like that's what you get from a number one overall recruit. Like that is what you are getting with him. So getting him would be absolutely astronomical and could be that little missing piece as they bring in, you know, they're already bringing back, you know, Ndukwe, Landino, Kyler Garcia, Hall, Gabe Hill, and McGaney are blue chips in their own right. Rodney White and Blake Smythe, like they have a ton of guys they're going after. And it makes sense that they, with all that depth, they're really only going after Jalen Brewster. And then they're kicking the tires on David Fulleruncho, who's a Chicago guy, St. Patrick High School. Really good player, by the way. He is. I'm surprised he's not a 5-star, to be quite honest. He is a specimen. Indiana, Missouri, Notre Dame, and Penn State. For me, it really feels like a battle for Notre Dame and Penn State to win it. But he's coming on to campus June 19th, but he has a commit date of May 15th. He already said his commit date. I feel like on that day he's going to commit to Notre Dame, unfortunately. But that's the guy they were also kicking the tires on. They weren't really going too heavy on D tackles. They had brought in four really good true freshman D tackles this past offseason.
And then they can go get the best one in the portal if they want to.
And then they can go get the best, or just get the best freshman, who's the number one overall player. Like, go get him. I think that would be the simple solution to everything. So like D tackle, not a huge need there, but if you can get the number one player in the country, you go get the number one player in the country. And we have connections there with the Brewster family. So there's a lot behind there. going on. And then I kind of want to talk about the stud position. They're not going after small DNs at all. They feel like it seems like they feel like they're pretty set there. Like just go down the line and Dukeway, Burris, Abram, Clark, Hoogan, like those guys will all be back next year, ideally in a perfect world. So they're not really attacking it. And it makes sense because they're really going after the big DNs. And that starts with, we mentioned Aiden O'Neill, who committed to Notre Dame recently, but they're also going after a couple other guys, right? Reynaldo Perez out of Columbus, Ohio, Columbus Academy, visited on April 17th. He's between Indiana and Michigan State. I feel really good about this. I feel like he might be our next commit, to be quite honest. Reynaldo Perez, 6'6", 260 out of Columbus, Ohio. Blue chip guy. Love it. Big DN, very much like an Obiazer. Just exactly what you like. He's Obiazer. Like they're just trying to like recreate him and bring another one of those freaks in. Jesus. And then Jace Brewer, Indy kid. Like we're talking about keeping the Indie guys, right? Franklin Central. He's between Michigan, Tennessee, Purdue, and Indiana. He was at the spring game. I really like the spot that we're in. Should be Michigan. If Michigan wants to really push them, could be a tough battle with that. I'm not really scared about Purdue, even though he's already been on campus. Tennessee could be a scary one too, especially with Owings there. Like a lot to pitch on there. Heupel's been to a playoff. That could be a tough battle for us. But I like that he's an in-state guy, and I like our spot there. Another guy that would project to be a bigger DN down the line, like 6'5", 240, like get 20 pounds on him. All of a sudden, you got another like pushing 6'6", 260 guy at the DN spot. Like this, they're really going for it. I'm telling you, like that's really all they're looking at for DN, and it feels like that's who they're set on, or those two guys at the DN spot. And it's just all about like executing and getting those guys to commit eventually. And they've already been on campus, so it's only really a matter of time as we kind of approach the dead period and kind of see what we can do and continue to build this class on the D-line. And the D-line room that's already pretty set, not going to really make or break the future of this ball club with those commits, which we can say about all the groups, but D-line feels like the most set out of all the groups that I'm looking at right now. And they feel like they're in a really good spot. I mean, who wouldn't want to play for that scary motherfucker named Pat Kuntz, man? That guy, whew, man.
And Buda Williams, who definitely never gets enough credit either.
He is loud, man. Yeah, I totally agree. Linebacker.
I was about to say, I would argue that linebacker is probably the most set room in the.
No.
You don't think so?
No, they're younger. They're losing. Think about who they're losing. They're going to lose Jones. They're going to lose Caden Turner. They're going to lose Utzinger. Like those are staples of the Indiana program the past 3 years at that point, right? Ideally, you bring back Ro Hardy for one more ride with the fellas, like be team captain, like come back. Please, he's going to have a big decision to make. But with Hardy, and then you got Henry Ollinger and Jaden Williams, the blue chip guys, Jacob Savage, PJ Nelson, like, good little core, but very young. Like, don't get it twisted.
I think all those guys are
bringing back Ro Hardy with those guys. I think would be awesome, right? I think that would really help out. Because the reality is, a lot of those guys won't get a ton of defensive snaps, just considering like the seniority that we have in that group right now. If they're able to break in, that's great for us, and that puts us in a better position. But like, we can't really bank on that, right?
My super, super early hot take is that all of those guys are going to be playable this year.
That would be awesome. I would love that. They could play special teams. It's going to be hard to get a guy like Caden Turner off the field, though. So,
that's what I mean. Is I think there's a reason why they're all right in that room, and there's not much else going on besides like those three guys are going to play. I don't think Ro Hardy seems like a 4-year guy, like, and Nelson, who nobody's talking about. It just gets to sit and absorb all of that. Yeah, I think all those guys can be ready to play.
It'll be a fun linebacker battle come that time. They are going after a big time guy though as well, and I loved this guy's tape. Loved it. Jathan Mayfield. No, Jalathan.
I think it's Jalathan.
Jalathan Mayfield out of Lincoln, North Carolina. He is between, listen to these high schools: Wilstein, Kentucky, Georgia, Oregon, Miami, Indiana. We were his first visit back in April 17th. We'll love to bring this guy in. I think he'd be like that sixth guy, really solidify the D-line. I think he could like play right away too. I think he'd be very playable. I hate to say it, I like them more than the Ollinger tape. I did like him more than the Ollinger tape. That guy,
you got to remember, Ollinger was playing half his time at running back.
It's true.
What do all these guys look like after 1 year under Brian Haynes? And I'm not saying that I disagree with you, because I think I haven't watched any of Mayfield just because I don't like to do it before guys commit, because it becomes dangerous if you start like really getting attached to some of the way these guys play. But yeah, there's a lot of really positive smoke around him. The way people talk about him is really, really exciting. And if you're a linebacker, it's impossible to not look at this scheme and, in my opinion, want to play in it. Like it's the ultimate, like, do you want to think about the game of football? Because basically Brian Haynes relies on the linebackers to clean up the entire like if you're not an elite thinker.
That's every defense,
yeah, no, I'm aware, but it's not every defense, because there's similarities and differences to the way like defensive line is played, for example, where Haynes is telling his defensive line just attack. And why can you tell your defensive line to attack? Because you have linebackers that are able to diagnose and fill the holes left behind from the chaos. If you can't diagnose the chaos and fill the hole, you can't play in the Brian Haynes defense. But if you want to be able to think on your feet and then go hit something, let's play football.
I agree. And I think it's not the most set class, but definitely has one of the more upside rooms, just because of the amount of the blue chip ratio, like I'm saying. Like very similar to the tight end, actually, in terms of just like a lot of good.
I'm not discounting a guy like Nelson, who's spent, now this will be year number 2 under under Signetti and under Brian Haynes, and getting to learn under Aiden Fisher and Isaiah Jones and Ro Hardy, and like that's a guy who nobody's talking about.
Yeah, well, I just want to like counter your like saying it was like one of the most set rooms, where it would be fair. Like they already brought in Gary on Hobbs at this spot, by the way. But he's a little undersized, feels like a
safety. He's a rover,
like a stash guy.
They're listing him as a safety. I think he's like 190 pounds. No.
Yeah, he is. He's 198.
Yeah, I don't think they brought him in as a linebacker.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what he ends up being. Kind of definitely an interesting spot. He's listed as linebacker.
He's built like a rover.
Yeah, we can bring in, like, they still have Caden McConnell, Amari Kamara as well on that roster spot. But I feel like that top 6 would be like Hardy, Ollinger, Savage, Nelson, Williams, Mayfield, which is very exciting, right? And then just to give you some context, like only 2 of those guys would have been in the program like 2 years at that point. That's Hardy and Nelson. Whereas the D-line in 2027 would have Landino and Dukeway, Calhoun, Garcia, Hall, Burris, Abram, and Quentin Clark.
No, you're absolutely right. It is stronger in terms of the experience. You're absolutely right.
100%. And then going to my like favorite room to talk about, DBs. Like Gary on Hobbs, we'll see. I have him with the linebackers. We just don't know what he is. He's pretty miscellaneous. Like
he's a rover.
We'll see. If he's listed as a linebacker, I'm questioning his cover skills. Like he might turn into a safety. We'll see.
I haven't. Where have you seen him listed at linebacker? I have not seen him listed at linebacker.
24/7.
Really?
Yeah.
Everything I read about him is that he's coming in to play rover.
Yeah, he's listed as an athlete. Yeah, he's listed as an athlete now. We'll see. I actually haven't watched his tape, so like I don't have an opinion on him. But he's on the roster, so I have him at linebacker.
You're gonna like him a lot, Brad. You're gonna like him a lot.
Okay. All right. I'll check out the tape. I'll check it out. But he's on campus, or on the roster.
He's kind of the forgotten guy in this class of 2027, and yeah, there's a reason why he's committed right now, for sure.
Yeah, obviously.
And and nobody's talking about it because they beat out Notre Dame for him. Yeah, he's legit. He is very legit.
I will say the DB potential in terms of like who they're targeting gets me the most excited out of everyone, because they're bringing back a bunch. Like they're gonna have Bell back, Williams, Sanks, Baldwin, Reese, Zachary Smith, Keontae Stewart, Timms. Like they're bringing back 10 scholarship guys in the DB room, 6, 8, 4 corners. You love to see it. What you'd like to see to emulate kind of what this roster looks like is bringing in 5 DBs, and Hobbs might be one of them. But I'm going to list out 5 guys that I think they can really target if they're able to bring in. Like if they bring in, here's just what I'm picturing. Like these 5 guys that I'm about to list. And it's not going to include Gary Hodge. Like they bring in this 5. Okay. Like that is a core DB room for the future. Like I think they'd be really special together. And I really hope they listen to this and just like understand, like I'm almost pitching them right now to just all come at the same time. So we'll start with Monsanto Torbett Jr.
Committed.
4-star guy. Committed. Locked in.
Suki.
Bang. Bang. Stud. Like probably the number 5-6 guy on this board. Like fringe 5-star almost. Like probably only not a 5-star because he's like super small right now. So we just got to get him that's a sandwich guy. You can get him a sandwich. The fact that he's like top 100 recruit needs a sandwich, that's a good sign. He's probably really good at football.
Yeah, that's another guy who Indiana had the first relationship with, and that's really helping in that recruitment right now.
100%. Next guy, they had this sneaky corner on campus during visits. Raheem Floyd was on campus. This guy is a straight-up corner out of East St. Louis, Missouri. We love that.
Shout out to Cortez Rupert.
Shout out Cortez Rupert. But yeah, just in general, like East St.
Isn't
Louis.
East St. Louis in Chicago, or not Chicago, in Illinois?
Missouri. It might be. Who fucking knows? Anyways, it's East St. Louis. He's between Wisconsin and Indiana. It feels like Wisconsin does have the lead there. But he did come on campus on during the spring game. But I just can't really imagine us losing a recruiting battle to Wisconsin at this point. Like that just shouldn't happen. So I'd love to bring him to kind of pair with Torbett at the cornerback position. I think that would be an awesome get. Brings a lot of upside. 6'2". I love that. 6'2", 170. Like feels like that guy can come in and really compete for some playing time right away. As well as most of these like blue chip guys that I'm talking about. And then obviously there's the safety spot, which is where they have to fill 3 of them because the Rover is a safety in this system. Kanaz Sullivan is on campus for the spring game. I think that would be really exciting. I would have him more of like a Rover type guy, around like 6'1", 190, very similar build to like not as tall, but like similar to like a Byron Baldwin type athlete. Springfield, Virginia. He's between Ohio State, Tennessee, Virginia Tech, Indiana, South Carolina. A lot of big name head coaches after him. I think that's a great sign. And he's already been on campus. So during that spring game. So like having all those guys together between the 17th visit, the spring game visit, and then this upcoming May 15th visit that we'll talk about next week more in depth and what it can mean for this program. Lots of exciting things happening. He's definitely top of their priority list. We'll love to bring him in. Another guy I really like, Junior Tuopo out of Alabaster, Alabama. He's between Alabama, Oregon, and Indiana. We were his first visit. He visited during the spring game. He is 6'3".
I think he was the week before, but yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, I know he was. He didn't go to the spring game. He's the 17th. He was there with Jalathon Mayfield and all those guys. He's an exciting prospect. Getting him from Alabama, I think, would be awesome. Alabama, Oregon, Indiana. That's his final 3. Like, I really like where we're at. We were his first visit. I think we're really pushing the metal with this guy. And I think him and Kanaz Sullivan, Torbett, and Raheem Floyd would really be special. And then they just icing on the cake would be Brady Scott out of Marion, Massachusetts. I feel like they're pretty much a lock for at this point. It feels like they're the only ones. They're recruiting him the hardest out of anyone. He's not really looking at anyone else from what we're seeing. He's already been on campus. He was at the spring game as well. It's kind of like a centerpiece. He's like, damn, he's like this 3-star surrounded by all these like 5, 4-star guys. Like,
he probably felt right at home.
I'm Brady Scott. I'm
gonna be the best player at all. That's the type of kid we commit.
The fact that they love him this much, I'm just really excited about him. 6 foot 195. Like, feels like he can come in and step in and play minutes right away on special teams and things like that. So like they could bring in a really strong nucleus that kind of rounds out everything. Not going to go over who our long snapper targets are and who our kickers are. We'll figure that stuff out.
You have 3
later.
long snappers right now, and I think 2 of them are coming back next year.
Yeah, 2 of them are walk-ons. So like we'll see what we do. We might do some cool stuff there, and like Sam Lindsay's a preferred walk-on. I agree. So we'll see what they're able to do. I'm anticipating an exciting summer. Like if all the guys I highlighted commit, like that would be the dream. The reality is probably not going to happen. But that's why we watch. And I hope we have a ton of things to talk about this summer. I can't wait to break down some more film. Maybe I'll watch some film of the guys that got committed, and I'll have a better. Honestly, I just really need to watch some Gary on Hobbs film. Is really. I think that's my homework assignment.
Because first of all, you would. Yeah.
Figure out. I need to figure out what position he is because I just read that he was
a rover
linebacker.
I'm telling you, I've watched him.
All right, you might be right.
I know I'm right.
Take your word for it.
And you're gonna really like it. You're gonna really like the tape. Promise. Do you have any closing thoughts on the class of 2027 as it sits? Because I have mine, and it's the fact that I am 0% still worried about what this class is going to look like. From everything that I've been hearing, reading, whatever the conversations that they've been having, this is when Indiana wants to do it, not nobody wants to come to this school is the way it's reading. And so
it is. It's based on like the fact that all these guys that we've got 30 visit guys, and most, if not all of them, are going to Indiana first. I think just says a lot. It's really like a timing thing. They're trying to figure out like what this class is going to look like, and we might just see like an avalanche of like kind of what's going on at UCLA right now. We just see an avalanche over the course of 4 weeks.
Yeah, what was it like last year? It was every 2 days there was 3 or 4 guys committing, and it was 4 guys committed today, 5 guys committed this week. Like
what was the timeline on that? Can you remind me of that?
I'd have to go back and look at our titles, but I remember like
now that we won at Natty, I'm getting really excited about recruiting now, just from like the fun of it, because I know it doesn't matter who we bring in, it'll just be fun and we'll just continue winning. But it's like
we had a really big May, and we went into the June whatever signing period essentially done.
Lock in is what I'll say. That's a good call out, Keezer. That's good. That's why you weren't so concerned about it, were you? Because you knew the timeline, and I didn't, because I didn't really care at this.
Listen, were they doing stuff in April last year? Yeah. In a perfect world, they're not in these recruiting battles. They're just closing the door. But
yeah,
it's like I know who's delivering the pitch, and also to the point of, and this is the recruiting conversations that I've been having on Twitter like for 2 weeks, is like there are a certain kind of person and player that can play in this program, and it's not the fact that these guys don't exist. It's just you have to go out and find them. And regardless of who it is, Kurt Cignetti and Indiana and this staff are going to go find guys that fit their system. And so if it's not the guys that we think that it is, they're going to find somebody who's damn good enough to go and play it. Like, am I going to be super nervous if like, look at what they did with recruiting guys to James Madison. You're telling me they're not able to figure out how to get to the national champion? Like that. If that's your read of this, and you're gonna be one of those like, I don't think these guys can figure out how to recruit the high school level, like you're setting yourself up to be laughed at, and everybody wants to be like, oh my god, there's no splashes, no news, and all that. How much more do you need to see before you just trust the way that things are operating here? It's like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and trust those guys.
I'm anticipating a awesome May.
And even if it's not, I will not be nervous about it.
Fair enough. I might be a little nervous about it. Not like nervous in the sense where it's like we're going to like start losing games all of a sudden, but nervous in the sense where it's like, which direction are we going to go type deal. But yeah, I would love to like bring in as many freshmen as possible is kind of how I'm thinking about it, and really supplant.
Listen, if you can pay somebody who's 18 or you can pay somebody who's 22, and they're going to play the same position for 1 year.
Well, it's like that's the caveat there, is that the 18-year-old is going to be there for a long time, and you're going to get multiple years out of them, which I think could be better in a lot of senses.
If you're going to get multiple years, but at the same time, if that 18-year-old is going to transfer 2 or 3 times anyway, you might as well get the 22-year-old. I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Is like how confident are they are of the younger core that's coming up. Like, are these guys ready to go by next year? Is that what they're projecting? Is that what they're seeing in spring?
Yeah, I think that's a huge
like
indicator of it too, is like they're looking at their class of 2024 becoming juniors. They're looking at their class of 25 becoming sophomores. They're looking at the freshman class they just brought in. They're going, yeah, I think we hit on a lot of these guys. Like, I think these guys are developing into the players we want. And I don't think it's an accident that you're seeing them essentially, like, more so, I think next year is what we'll see it, but get a chance to cherry pick a little bit in the portal and not take like a bunch of bulk guys at a bunch of different positions. Like, I think tight end is the perfect example of everyone's going like, yeah, tight end is super young. It's like, yeah, maybe they had the chance to bring in somebody older and maybe they decided not to. Like, maybe this was by design. Maybe they like the guys.
Maybe it's intentional. Maybe.
Like, do you like? Here's the way
Most
I'm
things
going to
they've
like,
done.
am I going to be frustrated that they don't have a mature tight end, or am I going to think that the guys who were able to watch the tight end room compete for a year and change and bring in these different guys are more than comfortable with what they're going to be able to go to battle with? Like, that's where I'm at.
I agree.
You had a bow to put on recruiting, Brad, before we close the show here?
I already said it. Hoping for an exciting May.
I love it. I have a closing thought, but it's not Indiana Hoosiers related, Brad.
Lakers
did you watch? Did you watch any of the UFC event this past weekend?
No.
Carlos, all right, I'll speed run that. Carlos Prates looked unbelievably ridiculous. That was one of the better performances you'll ever see. If you're a fight fan, definitely go check that out. I was blown away. His Octagon interview after was brilliant, talking about being the first Brazilian welterweight champion. I thought that was really, really good stuff. Commando says Shot's going to be a 3-year starter and a second-round pick. Lock it in. That'd be phenomenal. I would take that. I'll take it. It'd be sick.
Even if he's not, we'll probably still win games. You know, that's the thing. Like,
and then it's semi-interesting watching the Boston Red Sox again. The Chad Sox seem to have figured out something. The offense is humming a little bit. They've been able to pitch a little bit. Things are coming around. Number one defense in the league. I don't know. I don't want to be too optimistic about a team that's been hurting me so much recently, but they're playing better recently. That's what I got.
Right. Love it.
You got a closing thought on the show before we wrap it up?
No, I'm glad I kind of missed the Laker game because Austin Reeves just put up a stinker, 0 for 5 from 3. Like, my goodness, guys. Like, I know he's coming back from injury, so I'm not going to be too hard on him, but you got to pick that up. Like, he drops 20 in this game, we're in it. Like, you know, like, we're in. It's a completely different ball game. So, need Reeves to step it up. I don't know. They're pressing him with that freaking nobody. What's his name? Mitchell. I guess that made him uncomfortable. You figure it out, Reeves. Come on, you're better than that. Take him to Phil Presti handle cam. All right, fucking let's go.
Please like, comment,
handy.
Please like, comment, share, subscribe to Indiana at the Voice of College Football on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitter, hop on over to YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Really helps out the channel. We're chasing down 1,000 subscribers before the start of next season, so I think it's a reachable goal, Brad. What do you think?
I think so. Hope so.
If you're on Twitter, follow us at Alec Keiser, at Bradley_Loomis8. Check out what the Voice of College Football is doing. They're always doing cool stuff. If you're a college football fan, we've probably got a channel for you. So go check those guys out. We're also available wherever you get your podcasts. And Brad and I will be back next week talking about Indiana Hoosiers football. Appreciate everybody for hanging out this week. We'll see you guys next week with intro music, with outro music, and a lot more Hoosier talk. And I would guess some positive recruiting momentum, but we'll see.
Do we have outro music?
Nope. We got.
All right, we'll just cut it. I'll just dip out of here. All right, I'll see you guys.
All right, peace. Shout out Hoosiers. Go Hoosiers.